Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our channel. Yesterday, the indigenous people of Biafra, via their media person, Emma Powerful, and of course, Chika Edozim, the head of the Department of Services, Department of State, rather, DOS, of indigenous people of Biafra, had come together and suspended the sit-at-home order, saying that they have now left the fate of Nnamdi Kanu in the hands of the Igbo leaders, expecting them to do the needful. It raised a lot of uproar, but Ohaneze Ndigbo have decided to speak up concerning this matter. Before we go to the newspaper to find out all this into one, we'd like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Well, Ohaneze Ndigbo Youth Council Worldwide (OYC) hailed IPOB for once again heeding the voice of reason. The indigenous people of Biafra (IPOB) has received commendations from Apex Igbo Social Cultural Organization Ohaneze Ndigbo. Ohaneze hailed IPOB for cancelling the sit-at-home order, earlier scheduled to take effect from today, November 5th to November 10, 2021. Recall that the indigenous people of Biafra had, in a statement on Thursday by a spokesman, Comrade Ima Powerful, announced that the one-week sit-at-home was cancelled following intervention from eminent religious and traditional leaders from the southeast. It also urged Anambra voters to go all out on Saturday and cast their ballots. Reacting, the Ohaneze Ndigbo Youth Council Worldwide (OYC) hailed the indigenous people of Biafra for once again heeding the voice of reason. In a statement signed by President General Mazi Oku Nnabuike, he said the development was in the best interest of the entire Igbo land. We are delighted over the cheering news that IPOB has cancelled the one-week sit-at-home, which we earlier said will be of great consequences on the entire Igbo land. It is a thing of joy that the indigenous people of Biafra has finally looked at the larger picture by cancelling this action. Although it came late, it's still better than never. We commend the Nnamdi-led movement for the actualization of sovereign states of Biafra myself for standing firm over the Saturday's Anambra governorship election. At this point, we re-echo our appeal to our people to go out en masse and cast their ballot for their preferred candidate in an Anambra Guba election, Okwa said. Well, that sounds quite nice, but the question is, will the people genuinely honor that call? In another news, there are some issues or the three things that these governors revealed in their press statement which may signal an end to Southeast crisis. Let's quickly go into it. The crisis in the Southeast may soon be a thing of the past following the revelation made in the press statement issued by the 5 Southeast governors. The press statement was a resolution of the state governors as the region plans to witness the governorship election in Anambra State. Following the build-up to the elections, the region has been plagued with chaos and crisis allegedly perpetrated by members of UGM, and some persons are insisting that it is actually IPOB. Who knows? Let's continue with the news. We'll go into analysis later. The presence of the military in the region, however, has further exacerbated the issue, as there have been incidents of chaos witnessed in broad daylight on the streets of the southeastern states. This has made the region a no-go area, as residents and visitors had run for their life while the daily businesses had packed up. With the Anambra elections fast approaching, the stakeholders in the region had to put their heads together in a bid to find common ground and sort out the issues so that the elections can go on smoothly. From the press release, the Southeast governors made the following statement which showed the region will once again witness peace. 1. The governors had announced that they had identified some of the spokespersons of the angry groups that announced and tried to enforce the sit-at-home order in Anambra State and the region in general. They added that they had engaged them to stop all forms of violence and illegalities in Southeast. The success of this arrangement can be confirmed from the recent announcement that the sit-at-home order earlier announced, which would have disrupted the election, have actually been cancelled. 2. The governors noted that they had collated the report made by the Apex Igbo cultural group, that is Ohaneze Ndigbo, on how best to resolve the issues in the region, and they have promised to look into the report and make appropriate recommendations to the federal government in order to appease the warring factions in the region. 3. The governors also noted that they had discovered that armed robbers and kidnappers have been recruited to join the gang of bloodthirsty guys who have disguised under the IPOB banner to commit havoc in the region. The governors promised to fish them out. The governors further mentioned that they will be using a political method to resolve the crisis in the region, and they are sure these would end the agitation and crisis the region is facing. As earlier stated, the sit-at-home order, which would have disrupted the Anambra elections, have been cancelled, and this is the first step towards achieving a wave of lasting peace in the region. It is expected that with the governor's continued effort at seeking peace, the region will soon get back to its normal peaceful state. I say an amen to that, if that is possible. But the question is, it is one thing to make political promises. It's another thing to make sure it is brought to conclusion, or to ensure that the promises are being fulfilled. The truth be told, business is no longer as usual. That's the truth. You may not like it, but that's the truth. Because the truth be told is the fact that there's indigenous people of Biafra who have made up their mind to ensure that if they don't enforce it, the same way they said it at home, the same way they said Nnamdi Kanu ought to be freed, that's the same way you see things happen. So whether we like it or yes, there's what we call checkmates, audits, those who serve as a way of checking one another. Indigenous people of Biafra and not the other agitators will now likely serve as audits, as in serve as those who will be checkmating their leaders to see if all the promises they have made to the people, to Nnamdi Kanu, to those who decide to call off the sit-at-home order, if they will fulfill it. Don't forget that they said they're going to meet the highest stakeholders, they're going to meet the government, they're going to meet the federal government, they're going to meet the presidency, and they will dialogue the issue of marginalization, they will dialogue the issue of Nnamdi Kanu on a political terrain, which means that the indigenous people of Biafra, the same hand that said suspended, can also wake up and say it holds. And now they now realize that while they are looking at dialogue, the indigenous people of Biafra now have, whether by force or by choice, they now have the will of the people. Some said it is by force, others say it is by choice. Whichever way they are using to get it, now the people of South is listens to them. Which means if they play to the gallery, which means if the leadership of the South is placed to the gallery and do not fulfill their promise, then by all means, the same guys who brought this whole thing will wake up again and say, nah, since we've given you first chance, second chance, you have decided to fail. Now this is our turn now to act. So it's not may likely not going to be propaganda as usual or business as usual. This may be a case of IPOB watching them on the sidelines to see how well they perform this. I guess that's what we're going to wrap it up. Let's meet in that conversation, please. What's your take on this?